Everyone, thank you for joining today. My name is Vivek Nigam. I'm with ReTeam. We're going to talk about how to use AI to improve innovation and build a greater sense of belonging. So let's get started. A couple things. If you have questions as along the way, if you would go into the QA section and just add your questions, and we'll have some people monitoring those, and then and you can we'll address the questions at the end. Also, I'm going to put up some QR codes periodically, and the QR codes will be ways for you to participate. So if you guys can keep your phones handy, and then when the QR codes come up, you can scan the QR code. It'll open up just a couple of boxes. You can enter a few words. So if you want to participate, we'd love for you to participate. All right, let's get started. So let's talk about AI. So AI is not Skynet, right? We believe that AI is a transformative technology that empowers us rather than controls us. Now, there's a lot of concern about AI. I remember watching a Senate panel hearing and a lot of concern, even from the government, about how AI is going to be used, how do we control it. What we found is that you do need to constrain the use of AI, right? If you go to ChatGPT and ask it a question, it's going to give you uh, pages and pages of responses, and that may not be exactly what you want. And actually, if you ever get a chance, if you go to ChatGPT, for example, and ask it to explain quantum physics to me like I'm a 6-year-old, and just it's pretty entertaining to see how it walks through the process. But we think you can constrain it down. We've done a lot of work with this, and we're going to show you some examples about how you can use this to improve communications. So let's talk about what the problem is. So communication and participation in companies is challenged. The workplace continues to change and continues to evolve. So we're seeing 33% lower engagement, 30% uh, turnover, 20 to 30%. 41% of employees are saying they're not being heard, and about 25% lower idea sharing. So these are challenges as the workplace evolves. So what we want to be able to do is say, let's use some new thinking, use some new tools, and let's see what we can do. Okay, so we think we can use AI to improve team participation and communication. We do believe we are better together. Our differences make us stronger. So this is actually a logo that we use a lot. So we want to be able to unlock the team's full potential. Want to be able to deliver optimal results. Want to make sure everybody feels their value and has a voice. Improve communication styles and sentiment. Establish or reinforce new communication norms, and of course, align results to corporate values. AI has a play in all of these things, and we'll walk through how they can be used in some of them. Here's the 4 methods we're going to be talking about. First one is going to be about professional and inclusive speech. This is just a way that you can use AI to help you say things a little bit better. Idea generation, and we're going to spend a lot of time on idea generation. A lot of companies have goals for greater innovation, greater idea generation. So we'll spend some time on different techniques you can use for getting more ideas sharing across your companies. Summaries, actions, and risks. So AI is great at understanding things and trying to give you summaries and predict next action. So I'll show you some ways that you can utilize those techniques to give you summaries and actions. And then sentiment and happiness. So how do we monitor how people are doing and what the sentiment of especially written words are? A little bit of foundation. Let's talk about a framework for participation. It's 3 key pillars. There's communication, positivity, and engagement. Now, what's interesting about these, we're going to focus on communication, but you can't really just talk about improving communication without talking about engagement and positivity. The three of them work well together, and they're required to work together. So there's influences of positivity and engagement on communication. We are going to focus a little bit more on communication, but you're going to see the other elements in play there as well. Next, if you guys can get your phones out, we're going to do a quick survey. Let's talk about what is holding people back from using AI in the workplace. So I'll just pause here for a moment. If you would scan that QR code, enter some responses, and let's see what we get here. There you go. Yeah. Fear is a big one. Fear of failure, fear of change, fear of rejection. There's a lot of fear here. Unawareness or awareness. Great. Being timid, it's a very, very strong one. Wrong data. That's interesting. Maybe not knowing the right data. The ignorance one is one that maybe we should delve into at a later date. I'd love to talk more about that. Tech positions is good, right? Source of information, right? These are great. Security is a big one. There's a lot of people that are concerned with AI being judged. That's an important one as well. Thank you. These are the terms that we've heard in our journey, and as we talk to people, fear of AI, right? You see different things. You see company policies where there's a lot of companies who are restricting the use of AI, maybe not available at work. There's technical challenges, there's ease of use issues, but there's a variety of things that we're all struggling with, and how do you adopt AI? But the, it's not without its hurdles, but we do have some solutions. So let's get into the first method. Let's talk about using AI to help employees say things in a better way. We want to enhance the use of professional inclusive language. Now, this is really using an AI assistant, and there's a lot of different tools out there you can use. If you're doing it yourself, you want to constrain down the AI and configure it, train it, and if you need any help with that, just reach out and we can certainly help you with this. So it promotes a culture of respect and inclusion. Use of AI tools, of course, helps. And as you do these, what you're going to find is people will observe how people are using their words, right? What kinds of things are being said. And that's going to start to establish new communication norms, right? People are going to get better educated and they're going to be using better words. So you want to embrace the use of AI tools. You can even have a starter set of text, so things that you want in your company people to use these type of statements. Share responses with the team so that they can establish better norms. And you'll find that it actually helps with language barriers as well. Not just people who don't have English as a first language, but just people who don't know the right cliches or the right words to use, the right, trendy terms that people are using in the workplace. So let's talk about some examples. So let's say you want to say thank you to somebody. And we've probably all seen an email that looks like this. Thanks for your help, right? It's nice. It could be used for all things small and large, but it's nice. It's cordial. But how does that make you feel? I mean, it doesn't make you jump out of your chair and say, "Hey, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I helped someone." But thank you for your help. Okay, that's not bad. But let's take an example. Let's say you want to do this a little bit better. So help me say thank you to Jamie for her help with my project today. Okay, great. You ask an AI assistant, thank you so much, Jamie, for your help with my project today. And your assistance was invaluable, and I really appreciate it. Okay, didn't change the world, right? Didn't give you a huge dissertation. This is constrained down to a level that you can use, and you can use this just as it is. A little bit better than just saying thanks for your help, right? A little bit nicer, maybe a little bit more professional. Maybe this is a norm that you'd like to have. When someone receives this, they are going to appreciate it more than just thanks for your help. And then you can also work with this and experiment. And let's say you want to do a little bit more. Say, hey, let's make this sincere. Okay, now it wrote a little bit more. And you see a little bit of editing here. One of the things that you'll probably want to do in today's state with anything AI, you want to make sure you've got some oversight and probably edit the responses. And just make sure you hand edit or view it and make sure that it is saying what you expect it to say. So in this case, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for your help with my project today. Your expertise and guidance was invaluable. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to help me out. Okay, great. Now we've gone a little bit deeper, a little bit further. Seems like a small thing, but we've gotten a lot of responses, people that we've experimented with this with, and some responses that we've gotten a whole host of responses, and by and large, very positive. So here's some of the responses we got. Before I go through these, you see a little bonus in the middle. Two of these responses are actual responses from people, they're actual quotes, and two are AI generated. Just as a side thing, I'd want you guys to guess which two are AI generated, and I'll tell you at the end of the slide. So the first one, I'm from Brazil. English is my second language, so I don't always know the right things to say. Okay, great. I mean, that's a very positive statement. Now you can, you may not know the trendy things that are being said now or the right way you want to say exactly this. You want to make sure the tone is right. Or knowing that my input matters makes me appreciate being part of this team. I mean, that sounds very positive. I finally feel like my voice matters. It's such a change to know that my ideas are being taken seriously. And the last one, the best part about this new environment is the trust it has built among us, and we're more united and focused on our goals than ever before. All right. There's one softball in there. Hopefully you guys guessed it, but the answer is 1 and 3 are actual quotes, and 2 and 4 are AI generated. And bonus points for you guys who figured that one out. Okay, let's talk about sharing ideas. So this is getting to the next step, and there's a lot around sharing ideas about how you can get people to share ideas, and then how you can consume those ideas in the organization. And AI can help here quite a bit in every step of this process. So you want to address the hesitation for idea sharing that people have. Some don't know how to put the idea together. Some and some are just hesitant. So we're going to go through some of those concerns and give them some tools that'll help them not be so hesitant. You want to make sure that these are aligned to company values and principles, right? So want to make sure the idea that's being generated is something pertinent for the company and makes sense for us. We'll provide tools. We'll talk about avatars and anonymity, right? And how do you use anonymity to ensure that that people are not so afraid of responding. Use tools and virtual tutors where possible. Make it easier with summarizers, risk identifiers, next actions. It's all about structuring the idea. Once you have an idea, that's only part of the battle. The rest of it is how do you communicate it? How do you structure it? How do you get all the factors around it? So you want to embrace the use of AI tools. And you'll observe that employees are starting to open up as they use these tools because now they feel like they've got help. And again, you want to align to company principles and metrics. And little by little, this is going to continue to establish communication norms, right? Better ways to communicate. And especially when you talk about idea sharing, virtually every company has innovation as one of their pillars. They want to make sure that people are sharing ideas and they're improving their innovation. And this is a great way to uh to be a catalyst for that. All right, here's the second one. If you would scan the QR code, let's talk about what's holding people back from sharing ideas. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Oh, here we go. Feel silly. That's good. Yep, yep, yep. Judgment. Yep, being judged for sure. Yeah, uncertain, belittlement. Yeah, we see a lot of rejection, concern about being wrong. Representation. That's an interesting one, right? Um, good. It could be embarrassing, right? You could be wrong, right? Yeah, that's good. The dilemma. That's interesting. Yep. Power. Wow, that's another one. Yeah, organizational complexity. That's a big one. Not knowing, I suspect that means not knowing who to talk to, where the idea is going to go, who's going to get shared with, or who's a decision maker. Great, thank you, thank you. These are awesome. Yes, exactly. And we hear many of the same things. What we've seen is 65% of people are uncomfortable sharing an idea in their own words, right? And a lot of it has to do with what you just highlighted, right? Not knowing exactly the things to say. 38% of people have trouble just naming the idea. Every idea ends up with a name, and it'd be nice to have a name, an actual name, and not just, hey, that was the thing that Vivek came up with in October, right? And so have something you can actually refer to. And 72% of people have trouble envisioning next steps and risks. And this is where a lot of the ideas actually start to fall down, where they say, well, I've got this idea, but now what do I do? Right? What are the next steps and how do I identify the risks? And traditionally, you'll have multiple meetings, you'll talk to a lot of people, and if you have the persistence to go through it. But all these things actually stop people from sharing ideas. Our results have shown with using some of these AI tools and alleviating some of those concerns, we can see a 28% improvement in innovation and idea sharing. Let's go through some examples. All right, first of all, let's talk about structuring an idea. First thing you want to do is just write it down. It should be in your own words. You can record a video, you can do it in text, you can do it in an email. All those things are palatable because AI can consume all of those things. Most of the tools that we've used will just transcribe the video into text, and they operate on text. So, but video is fine, and virtually every platform, collaboration platform or tool that you use today will transcribe your video. So get it down to text, and then just start there and give it a name. Coming up with a name is difficult. I struggle with this myself, and so there's tools now that you can use some AI assistants that will generate a name for you. In this case, we're asking about there was a company that was asking about an innovation platform, and they wanted something like Kickstarter or Shark Tank. So we talked about it, and if you put that into the idea, you get these ideas that are generated. It says things like innovation amplifier and idea incubator, right? These are cool ideas, or brainstorm booster, idea spark, which I thought was good, and my favorite, which is brainwave igniter. So, but now you've got some clever terms, clever names that you can start with. You can use one of them. You can use them to give you an idea on something else, and but it'll give you a start. This is something that seems simple, but it's a key step in the process that it can help with. And there's more. So next steps, we're going to talk about getting help with structure, with using anonymity, and using avatars. And a reminder, if you have questions, make sure you put them in the Q&A, and we'll capture them and we'll talk about them toward the end here. So let's talk about using the AI tutor to actually come up with a guidance that'll give you a better idea. Now, AI tutor is pretty involved. It takes quite a bit of work to train and to give you some steps, and it's not just an AI tool you can just download and use. This is a process, right? So you need to go process step by step. And so there's going to be some configurations here. We actually have an implementation if you guys want to take a look, and we're happy to talk to you about it. But now using an AI-based tutor, it just doesn't have to be just for ideas, it could be for a lot of things. It'll help you with structuring the idea, step-by-step guide. The key value here is that it's going to help you align the idea with company values, communication styles, characteristics, and over time, it's going to learn more about the company. And that's the beauty of AI. It learns and it continues to understand what the proper parameters are, what the structures are. Will help you with an idea so that, if you're building nuclear reactors, you don't come up with an idea to, make popcorn, right? So it's you want to have something that is aligned with what you want to do. And so building a tutor like this, or, working through a process like this will really help, especially alleviate the concern about how do I put this process in place. This is certainly much more involved, but this is very achievable with today's technology. And having a tutor like this will really help boost your idea sharing. And let's go with talking about anonymous ideas and sharing with avatars. What we want to do here is make sure we address the discomfort with speaking up. There's confidence issues, there's fear, right? We just talked about all these different terms, fear of rejection. How do we address all those? There's a couple of processes you can do that are not necessarily AI related, but you can make the idea anonymous or to be revealed at a later date. It takes away some of that fear that, hey, I don't want my name attached to this if it crashes and burns, if this idea is not very popular. So make it anonymous, but then using avatars, you can say your own words, just record your own video, your own text, or type your own text, and have somebody else present it. Now, this isn't about Taylor Swift and trying to make a deep fake of Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. This is about actually just giving you an opportunity to present, make sure it's said in your words, make sure it uses the right words. But for people who have stage fright, you don't get up there and put your face out there. And a lot of the ideas die because of that. They never get shared because people just don't want to put themselves out there. We're a big fan of using video and use the video. The AI tools will translate them. They'll transcribe them into text, and you can generate the avatar right off of that. Most avatar tools use text, but yeah, if you record your own video, that process is actually pretty simple. And we do think this will help open up people to sharing. So avatars have been shown to remove fear and other factors that are holding people back from sharing or participating. Okay, let's move on to a next one. Let's talk about summarizing and summarizing text and ideas. A lot of presentations we do, a lot of words, documents we write in the workplace are lengthy. They need a lot of detail. At some point, you need to summarize them. So you need a 30-second pitch. You need to go through the process. So let's see what this might look like. When you can summarize, and there's a lot of tools that can help you, AI tools that can help consume, you take a large document and consume it down to something that you can consume in minutes and give you a summary, give you next steps. What we've been experimenting with, and you'll see some samples here, is taking that idea, bringing it down to a 30-second summary. You need that elevator pitch, right? People talk about the elevator pitch. So get a summary of the idea. So this is now something you can say to somebody, hey, here's my idea. It's called, brainwave igniter, and this is what it's about, right? And there's your 30-second pitch, and people say, okay, got it. I understand the summary. I understand where you're heading here. But also, as you go through that, eventually they're going to say, well, if we want to put this in place, what are my next actions? And again, it's going to give you good suggestions, but this is not the end. It's not just saying, hey, AI told me these are the next steps, so let's go make those next steps. These are good suggestions, and we've seen really good quality with these, maybe an 80% reliability of these are probably the right actions, but you want to look at these actions and review them and maybe adjust them. And then look at topics for discussion. Every idea is going to have lengthy discussions because eventually you need to fund it. People need to really buy into it and need to understand. So it's going to give you some things that say, next time you guys meet about this, here's things you should talk about. And one that's always very problematic for people sharing ideas is risks. When you've got an idea, you think about it and you tend not to think about the negatives. You tend not to think about what holds us back. You think about why this would be so wonderful, why this would be so great. Now you've got some insight into, if you're trying to implement this, what are the risks you need to address? Every concept, every proposal has risks, has hurdles. So here's a way that you can at least get a starter set of risks that you can identify. So when you're presenting, someone's inevitably going to ask you, well, what are the hurdles you have to get through? Now you've got a starter set. Say, well, this is what we've identified so far, and we'll identify more as we go. A very powerful tool. You can use this for a lot of cases. We love it for the idea generation, descending down an idea into actions, discussions, and risks. And this use case, actually, we've done some testing with this and very useful. So if you want help with how do you structure this, reach out to us and we can certainly help you put all that together. Okay, last method. Last one we're going to talk about is sentiment and happiness. Now, there's two pieces to this. This is completely separate from ideas. Two pieces to this: at the moment sentiment and over time sentiment. Now, what does that mean? At the moment is just analyzing words and sentences before you send them. We hear it all the time. Someone sent an email, someone sent a text and said, whoa, why would he say that? What does that mean? And you confront them eventually and say, no, 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 I didn't intend that at all. The tone in text is very difficult to monitor, especially when conversations are going back and forth. So here's an opportunity for you to use some of these tools and AI assistants to check the tone of what you're sending. Make sure it says what you want to say. Make sure the tone is what you want it to be. The over time is capturing and analyzing trends, understanding how people are interacting. Great for collaboration platforms where you'll see chats and words going back and forth, or you can analyze emails and analyze documents. You can see the sentiment that people are portraying just by the words that they use. And we'll show you some examples of what we've done to show those over time. So a couple of benefits here. It promotes standardization for communication for the company. Obviously, use of AI tools pretty much required for both. Second one, over time, is a lot more analytics, but having some AI tools, and there's a lot of them out there that monitor sentiment, are very helpful. Employees learn and appreciate over time as they see these new communication terms coming out there. People will adapt, and now over time, you'll start to see, when you're typing something, you check it with the AI tool and you're getting better, right? People will naturally get better. They'll learn as they see these tools. So you want to embrace the use of AI tools. At the moment, analysis does require an AI assistant. So you will want an AI assistant configured properly, trained properly, and constrained properly. And it's important for hybrid workplaces, especially that are heavy in asynchronous communication. When there's a lot more asynchronous communication going on, that tone is tougher to manage. So really a big help in these type of situations. And over the time measurement, of course, it requires a lot of analytics. Let's look at some samples. Let's say we wanted to post something and as a comment, and unfortunately, this image got kind of washed out, but this is the "We Are Better Together" image. And here's a comment that looks very positive. Hey, that's such a cool design. And so if you put this through an AI tool, say, what is the sentiment? What is the tone that I'm getting out of this? And you may see the clapping emoji, right? So, okay, that makes sense. You're trying to say celebration, great job. Okay, this makes sense. Maybe that is the tone that I want here. And if it's not, maybe you go back to the assistant and say, write this in a tone that represents XYZ. Let's look at another one. Okay, this one a little bit different, saying, oh, someone's saying, hey, I'm pressured but managing. So maybe there's a little concern. And you're posting back, hey, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Is this, this is, it sounds concerning. And I want to make sure if I'm reaching out to somebody, see if they want help, make sure that tone is correct. So this is what the AI tool came up with. Okay, hoping everything's okay, hope you're good. Maybe the right tone, may not be the right tone. Check it, see what is the right tone. Maybe ask the assistant, say, hey, make this a little more sincere, more endearing. What are those terms? And get it to the point where you can see the emoji that says, this is the tone that I want to see. And let's look at one more. Ah, cheesecake. It is after lunchtime, so but this should be a fun one. I get hungry just by looking at all the yummy food. All right, so this is fun. This is endearing. These are the types of things that people will say, and especially in comments. Okay, so that makes sense. A blushing emoji, right? So this is that probably is the right tone. It's very light. It's very fun. But here's an opportunity for you to check at the moment. I'm typing something. Before I just send it, let me just put into the assistant. What is the tone I'm getting out of this? Make sure it's saying the right thing, and then post it. This certainly is an additional step, but can save a lot of headache on the back end. Okay, and you can use this to check tone, like we said, or just add an emoji. Sometimes, in today's world, adding an emoji says a lot. And sometimes maybe you just want to say something, but an emoji will do, and maybe it's the right one. So there's great opportunities, things that you can experiment with. Let's look at changes over time. Now, and analyzing sentiment requires some data analytics, but also there's tools out there that will just analyze the words that have been used. You can do this historically if you got all the history, or you can do it day to day, month to month, whatever your period of time is. This is actually what we're showing here is an actual example of a company over the past 6 months. Actually, going back to last December, we stopped measuring this in June, but we're using some of these tools to help them adjust their communication. They've actually been showing an improved sentiment, and it took a little time. There was a lot of changes in this organization happening, but started in December, you see everything's very highly negative. And little by little, using these tools, we kept monitoring to see how is the sentiment going. And as you get those analytics, you make adjustments. Say, hey, we're not where we think we should be. Let's make some additional adjustments. What can we infer from this information? And you will see positivity happening. Now, this was over a period of 6 months. We usually see things in about 2 months. You'll start to see measurable results, but and that usually does carry over time. You want to be able to do this so you can really get a good sense of how is the organization doing. A lot of people do surveys. Those are great. Surveys have good and bad. Don't always tell you the right answer, but as you see what people are actually saying, if you can analyze those type of things, you'll get a lot of insight out of it. Okay, just as a recap, these are the four methods that we went through: professional inclusive speech, idea generation and sharing, summaries, actions, and risks, and sentiment and happiness. All of these have AI components. Some are more complex than others. Most of them are relatively simple, though they do require constraining, training, and refinement. So and configuration for the AI tool. So make sure that you spend some time on those. If you guys need any help with that, or you want any additional insights, happy to spend some time with you to go through them. And before we go to questions, I'd like to just give an overview about who we are and why this has been important to us. And so bear with me just a couple minutes here. So we are ReTeam. We're here to help companies engage, empower, and thrive. And our platform helps puts a combination of engagement, innovation, and wellness. And you see a lot of pillars here based in social science, doing a lot of study of this for many years. And we'll see improved team participation, AI facilitated ideation communication, quite a bit here. We also have a whole section on mindfulness and wellness, which we think complements everything else that we're trying to do to improve team participation. Here's our four key pillars: improving participation and make sure everybody has a voice, engaging the whole team, especially the folks that are not in the office, who are maybe out on the road or who check into the office periodically, but typically are in a remote location. Idea sharing and innovation, and of course, individual and team wellness. We have a heavy focus on analytics and AI that analyzes how things are going and helps make adjustments based on those analysis and give you recommendations and predictions. And here's some results. As I mentioned before, within 2 months doing some of these techniques, you will see measurable results. And these results, after 2 months, they're measurable, and you can see you'll notice those results, but they become a habit. So these results will persist over time, and they'll get better and better. Eventually, will plateau, and then you try some new things if you need additional improvement. Every company's a little bit different, but pretty consistently, we see in 2 months, you'll see measurable results, better improvements in communication, innovation, inclusiveness, sense of belonging. And it's all about improving our communication and finding ways to improve the team cohesion. And lastly, we're hoping we can spend some time with you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to spend more time on what we covered here today, we'd love to show you the experiences that we've had, talk about how we've implemented these in our programs and our platforms. The QR code here is to schedule a demo if you'd like to do that. Anybody who schedules a demo with us, we're sending out these t-shirts. We're a big believer in being better together. And also, we're offering a 30-day facilitated free trial. So we have facilitators on our team that will work with companies to help them, especially in that first 30 days, to say, here's the things you should work on. Here's how you can configure things and see if we can make a substantive and measurable change. So if you have questions, please drop us a note, info@joinreteam.com, or you probably got a message from Giselle yesterday, just a reminder of the session today, so you can reach out to her. And we're happy to get on the call with you if that helps. The experience that we've had with AI has been very positive, but it's not without some effort. So with that, I can say thank you everyone for joining today. And yeah, hope to hear from you. If you have any additional questions, please do reach out.